Alright guys, so we are back with Etheria Restart, and today we're going to be addressing things that need to change in the game. So I've compiled a list of things that I've seen many people in the community ask for, whether it be through the Reddit, whether it be through Twitter, whether it be through the Discord, other creators, everything on YouTube. I've seen it all, what people have been saying, and I've compiled a list of things that I think would make the game better and would stop people from quitting, because players are quitting, people aren't waiting around, and I feel like since I'm telling people to be patient and to wait for the devs to make these changes, I think the devs need to speed up with these changes. That being said, as players aren't going to wait around forever for the game to fix all the issues. All right, so the first thing that we need to see changed in the game is an increase in the resources. What do I mean by resources? I mean, let me head over to inventory. I mean, where's it at? Perfect lattice. Perfect lattice is really scarce, and I know, before some people say, I know this is literally where they make their money. It's through the perfect lattice, right? As you can easily get the characters. Pulls aren't even an issue in this game. Hold up, let me see. Can I show you my pulls? Yeah, pulls ain't even an issue. You get so many pulls. Like, you're almost guaranteed both characters. If they do a double banner, before the banners go away, you're almost guaranteed to pull both characters, because there is no pity. There is no 50-50. So getting the character isn't even the issue in this game. It's skilling them up. Like, let's head over to my animus. Like you guys saw, I pulled in one of my recent summon videos, I pulled Nymphonial, and I also pulled Bat Speed, right? And me and many other people have Nymphonial built up. Like, we have her fully kitted out. We invested a few perfect lattice into her skills, because between her and Batsby, she is the less lattice hungry, right? But a unit like Batsby, if I can find the dude, where's he at? Here he is. A unit like Batsby, many people either one aren't gonna summon for him because they're like, why the hell would I pull for him, because I don't even have enough lattice to even make him useful, right? Like, people, like, think of it like this: the players are struggling to skill up units that were already in the game day one. Like, many people, like for example Messiah, who was the first light dark banner in the game, many people don't have him skilled up, right? For example, he was in the game day one. Another random unit, let me just randomly bring up another unit. For example, Real Mocha, many people don't have Real Mocha skilled up, right? So adding more units is only going to make things harder for people to keep up. And that's why people aren't hyped for new units, because they're like, why would I summon for a new unit when the units that I already have, I haven't even used them? Like, many people are sitting on units that are just collecting dust in their box because they just don't have enough lattice to make them useful, right? And you need to skill up your units if you want them to be good in PvP, right? Especially in the higher ranks of PvP, you need to invest your skill ups, as it increases the effect percentage, the damage, etc., reduces skill cooldowns, all that good stuff. So you're not going to go into PvP if you don't have your skills up on your units, right? And it's incredibly hard to get your perfect lattices, right? And bear in mind, I buy the perfect lattices every week. Any pack that has perfect lattices, I buy them, right? So even with that, I struggle. Will struggle to skill up their units with perfect lattice. So this is a huge bottleneck that they need to improve on, man. They just need to improve this, because, like, there's other ways that they can make the game, because there's other ways that they can monetize the game without capping on the perfect lattice, in my opinion, right? Like, even if they add, like, this is another thing, but I'll get into it later, is adding better packs. Like, there is no way currently to buy perfect lattice. Like, once you buy the first time perfect lattice packs, you have to wait a whole week for it to refresh in the shop, right? And you can only buy one. So it's kind of like you're stuck to buying one a week. Then you have to rely on all the in-game events and PvP. Like, you're getting a couple of lattice every week or every couple of weeks. And at the rate that they're adding more characters and the way that the game is really dependent on, and the use of characters are heavily dependent on leveling up their skills, it's like we need an increase of perfect lattice in this game. I don't know what they need to do. Maybe add more events to give us more perfect lattice. I don't know, but they need to give us more, because the economy in the game with perfect lattice is very poor right now. I'm not gonna lie. And that being said, another thing that we need to see changed, which kind of falls under the same umbrella with increasing the resources, is the shell mats. Let's hop into a character. Let's go into we'll go into Lily, right? So with Lily, for example, right? I bought some packs, right? So that's why I have a lot of training data, right? But to reroll your passive effects on your shells, it's gonna cost you training data, and it's also gonna cost you reconfiguration chips, right? And it's like you have to go through millions, and I mean millions of training data, like 2-3 million training data, right? Just to, you know, potentially get a passive effect that you're looking for. Like, let's try here real quick, right? So I want, okay, look, so I didn't get it right there. So I want mythic level passive effect for shadow dash to increase my speed, right? Like, look, like my boy RNJ made a video on this like months ago, but like this still hasn't been fixed. Okay, effect res, I don't really need that. Like they need to add like a pity system where, like, after you do this a certain amount of times, you just get the role that you're looking for, because you're just going through millions and millions of training data, going through all your reconfiguration chips, and it's like, this is just not normal. It's just not normal. There needs to be a pity system, because you can't tell me that you can go through 2-3 million training data, go through all your reconfiguration chips, and not get, like, look, I'm out now, and not get the passive effect that you're looking for, right? So like even though I have all this, I go through more reconfiguration chips than I do training data. Like, it's really bad. Like, I'm already out. So they need to improve this and give us more reconfiguration chips, because it's crazy. And I know that they did try to fix this by like adding like the fodder shell that you can sell for more training data, and yeah, that did improve things, I guess, with the training data, but we're still short on reconfiguration chips, right? And realistically, the real issue isn't even the training data, in my opinion. Like I said, it's the pity, because you can give us all the training data and all the reconfiguration chips, but it doesn't matter if we just never get the role on the shell, right? There needs to be a pity system. You can't just infinitely just do this and never get the role. There has to be a pity system, so they need to add that. Another thing is with Etheria coin, like improve the economy when it comes to Etheria coin. Obviously, I have a lot. I just haven't used mine yet. I've been stockpiling mine for when I want to build up a unit, but you go through millions and millions of Etheria coin, and when you're rolling on gear, you go through millions and millions. Yes, you get some of that back when you crush your gear, if it ends up rolling into the wrong things, but they just need to improve the economy with the modules, because the way it is now, you're scared to roll on a bad piece of gear, and you have to stockpile millions and millions and millions of Etheria coin, because you already know once that gear rolls into shit stats, then you just have to crush that shit and you lose out on a ton of Etheria coin, right? So that's another thing that needs to be worked on. So improving the overall economy, and many CCs have already talked about this weeks ago, and this is the #1 issue that I see people talk about the most. The resource and the economy of the game. This needs to be addressed, devs. Please, 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 for the sake of the game, work on this. This should be a priority, right? Because I did give you guys props that you guys are addressing some issues that we're talking about, but you're not addressing the priority, right? And I think this is a priority, because people have been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've spoken about this with other CCs, that we've made videos. Like, this needs to be worked on because people are quitting. People are quitting, and we need to stop this. So to stop that, you need to address the elephant in the room, which is the economy. So next, what's the next thing that needs to be, changed, in my opinion? And what needs to be changed is we need more story. We need more story. This is one of the few gacha game that, like, I don't know what it is. And you guys know I love this game, and I'm just giving it tough love, right? I'm giving it that tough love. So know that when I say this, right? I feel like the devs are neglecting the story, right? I honestly feel like the devs are neglecting the story, and I'm not even trying to hate on the game, but I just feel like they're neglecting the story because it's been months. They haven't even added any new story since, the game came out, number one. And even before the game came out, when we played the beta, I made videos talking about it. Other CCs made videos talking about it. The elephant in the room regarding the story is there's no English VAs. That's another thing. That's number 3. But we need more story, because right now I know it's a PvP game, right? PvP is the main thing, the main end game. You playing PvP, like that's the thing. They're doing their esports tournaments in China, stuff like that. But the story is what makes people attached to the characters. For example, Wuthering Waves. In Wuthering Waves, you pull for characters not just because they're like meta or whatever the hell, but you pull for characters because you've seen them in the story and you understand their backstory. They might be cool, funny, whatever the hell. Like Changli, for example, my favorite character in Wuthering Waves. I pull for her and max her out because she's my favorite character in the game, and I love her backstory, her companion quest. She's awesome. That's why I pulled for her and spent money. Same thing with, for example, Augusta. I think that's how you say her name in Wuthering Waves. She just dropped. People are pulling for her because they saw her in the story and they grew attached to her. And them neglecting the story is, number one, not giving people that extra incentive to pull for a character because they don't know shit. We don't know shit about these characters. Like Batsby, no one knows shit about Batsby. No one knows shit about Nymphoneal. Like, because number one, they haven't even added. It goes back to my number 2. My point, they're not adding any story. So these new characters that they're adding, we know nothing about these characters. We just see their design and we see their kit, and that's about it. So add more story. Add more story events. Like, I don't know what you need to do. Add like character quests, character story quests, where we play through a character story and we learn more about these characters. That might be a good alternative if they don't want to do more main story for whatever reason for a while. Give us more character quests so we can play through. Like this is an example, right? Do this. If a new character drops, like Nymphoneal or whatever, right? When she drops, add a character story event when her banner drops or launches. Then you can pull for the character, or you can play through her story quest. You see her backstory, her lore, or whatever, and then you're like, okay, I understand more about the character, and then you can summon for the character if you get attached to the character. Like, that's what they need to do, because just dropping characters and expecting people just to pull for meta, it's like people don't have that emotional attachment to these characters, and that's a problem. My kind of third point that kind of follows into that is the English VAs. We need English voice acting. We've said this. We need English voice acting because people don't like to read. Like, believe it or not, people don't like to read. Gamers don't like to read. Like, I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh player, and many Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read. We just play the cards, right? People hate to read in these types of games, especially story games, story-centered games, or whatever the hell, or games that have a story. People are gonna skip it. And majority of people who play Etheria Restart, like 70 to 80% of the people skip the story. I only know, like, I probably remember 60 or 70% of the story just because I've played like 3 or 4 accounts, and I played through the beta as well on multiple accounts. So that's the only reason why I actually know some key details from the story. But many people just skipped, and because they don't care, they just skipped, got the rewards, and left. Add English voice acting. We've been saying this because there's no point in having an insane, putting insane work in the story like with the writing and what happens in it and the cutscenes and stuff, if people just skip it. Like they have insane cutscenes in this game, but people skip everything because there's no English voice acting, and people aren't trying to just read a thousand words or whatever the hell, you know. People play this game to have fun. So, you know, add English voice acting. The next thing is kind of ties into what we have currently going on in the game. With we have the where's it at? We have the increased drop event. Where's it at? Here it is. The Blessings Galore event. So far since the game came out, and even in the beta, right? We had the increased drop rate for GP outpost, for your prowess materials. We had it for your modules. We had it for your Animus EXP. That's cool, right? It's cool. But it gets to a point where, when are you gonna add an increased drop event for shells? Like, when are you gonna add an increased drop event for shells? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to add one for shells as well, because it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I found my prowess, I found my gear, I found my EXP, I'm cool. EXP is when you become endgame like I'm at the point right now where I don't ever farm Animus EXP ever, because my units are already maxed out. The units that I took up to max starred or whatever, they're already chilling, and I only have a certain few units that I'm never gonna use, right? They're chilling in my box. But majority of my account, my units are 5-star or 6-star, and it gets to the point where if a new unit comes out and I actually seriously going to use this unit, I don't even need to farm anything. I just use the passive EXP that I get from doing all my other module grinding, shell grinding, and I just put that into, you know, the character. So Animus EXP isn't even that important to a certain point, right? It gets to a point where you don't even farm this anymore. But the module's cool, prowess, I guess that's cool, you know. But we need the increased drop event for shells. We just need it, right? And the next thing is the character resets. Now, this is the big one, right? And anyone with a logical thinking brain, I've seen some people complain that, I don't want another character reset because it forces, it lessens the punishment on people for making mistakes on their investments on characters. No shit, that's the reason why the character resets were so good. Like, we got one at the start of the game when the game first came out, and then I think we got another one because people were complaining about like character balancing and stuff like that. We got like 2 or 3, and that second run around when we got those character resets, it saved my account, because my account actually bricked. I bricked my account for the first like 2-3 weeks of the game. I bricked it, right? Invested in the wrong units. Like I max skilled out Messiah because he was my favorite character. I made a mistake doing that. Then once I got the character reset him, reset another unit. I think there was, I don't know if there was 2 or 3, I can't remember exactly, but I reset all those units and reinvested it into actual units to improve my PvE farming. And then lo and behold, I jumped up from, you know, doing Hell 1 or whatever to, you know, doing Hell 3, Hell 4. You know what I'm saying? I was at the cusp of doing Inferno. Like, I improved my runs, improved the speed, the clear time. So the character resets are very, very key. Like, I think they shouldn't just be like a one-time thing. Okay, when you start your account, okay, you get like 3. No, I think that we should be getting character resets once a month, at least once a month, or once every 2 months, right? Once every month or once every 2 months, give us like 3 character resets to fix your account. Like, you might build up a character to farm something, and then you get to a point where you just never use that character anymore, and you put like 7 or 8 lattice, perfect lattice into them. And this is another reason why people are complaining about the perfect lattice economy, because when you invest and build up or skill up a unit and then you just stop using that unit because you're like, okay, I never need to use this unit ever again, it's like, okay, then you just wasted like all that perfect lattice in that unit, and you can't, because you're never going to use that unit again. And that's why people rely on these character resets. That's why these character resets are really important, to get your resource, your perfect lattice back, right? Like, this could be another way to improve the economy if they give more character resets. Not even if it's once a month or once every 2 months or whatever, you get like 3 character resets, but it will also lessen the strain on perfect lattice, because you're like, all right, I can get this back and reinvest it and, you know, manage it differently. So I just think that giving us more character resets is going to be a good thing in this game. It shouldn't just be a once-off thing, because like people be making mistakes. Some units have a use only for a certain time period, and then once it gets beyond that time period, or once you farm something and you're no longer ever going to farm something, it's like, okay, I need my resources back. So yeah, and then we spoke about the shell passive pity as well. And then the final thing, I think the final thing is the shop. So add better packs. So obviously, recently in the last update for the game, where's it at? Crystal trade. Yeah, they reset the crystal ×2 the crystal ×2 packs, right? They brought it back, so you get double the crystals for your first time purchases. They reset all those packs. Thing is, right, people don't really buy these, right? Like you don't really buy this. Like obviously at the start of the game people bought this, but it gets to a certain point in the game where you're like, you don't really buy these anymore. And the main thing you do buy, it's not even stamina. Like before, in the beta, stamina was an issue, but you know, at launch the game, stamina has never been an issue. Stamina is definitely not an issue. I feel like one of the biggest issues isn't even the pulls, because they give us a ton of pulls. I feel like it's the perfect lattice, like I mentioned earlier. So give us more packs to buy, more perfect lattice packs to buy every week, because currently right now you either have to rely on the one time a week special training supply that gives you one perfect lattice, and then hope and pray that, you know, in the value section that they have some packs that have the perfect lattice, right? So like you're locked in, and it doesn't help anything if even the whales are struggling to get perfect lattice. This is what I'm talking about. Even if you have money and you're willing to spend money, it's extremely hard to even get the perfect lattice in the first place. So add better packs, because like this will, because I guarantee if they add more packs to buy more perfect lattice every week, people will buy them. I guarantee it. People will buy them. Whales will splurge on perfect lattice packs. So add more. Like that's a way to get more money instead of dropping this, right? Where's it at? This. Dropping these kind of packs. Neon Mirage. Like who's gonna spend $50 on a map, right? That a battlefield that only you see. You know what I'm saying? Like I got one. I got one because I just had some extra resources or whatever, so I just bought it for $15. But like, who's gonna buy the Neon Mirage pack for $51? Like that pricing is insane. Like, let me show you guys. I don't think this is worth $50 in my opinion. Like I just don't see how this is worth $50. It's a battlefield, and it only shows on your end. It doesn't show on your opponent's end, so you can't even flex that on anyone. It just makes no sense in my opinion, dropping this. And even the character skins, right? The character skins are like, some units have some cool looking ones, I guess, but it's like it's just recolors. You know what I'm saying? I bought like a few. Like I got one for Holden. I got one for Lilium, Yelly. But like it gets to a point where I'm there, like I'm not even interested in getting skins, right? So like that's a way that they can make more money if they just add more resource packs. Add the packs that people are willing to buy, right? Like the perfect lattice packs, you know, more shell mats packs, stuff like that. More packs that give you red books, you know what I'm saying? Like, and increase the buy counter on these. Like don't make them one-time purchases. Like maybe increase it to 10, maybe, you know, 10 a week or 8 a week, 6 a week, hell, even, you know. This would give people more of an incentive to spend money, because the skins are kind of so-so, right? And these outfits, and these not that these outfits for your character or the MC, like the only like one that's worth getting is the battle outfit, right? For like when you, but the thing is, the battle outfit is only decent in like when you're in story, or maybe Ember Trek. Yeah, Ember Trek, like besides that, your battle outfit doesn't even matter because, like I said, you don't even play story. Once you beat the story, they just haven't added anything. So you don't. I barely even see my character wear this. The Chaku skin, I bought this. I bought the pack just to flex, just to have it as a flex. I got a rare Chaku skin, but like you rarely ever see this besides in the summon animation, I guess, and when you're in story or Ember Trek. And it's like, then again, it comes back to that where you're rarely ever in story because they just haven't added any story since launch. They haven't added any story events, so you just rarely ever see this unless you're doing Ember Trek or pulling. And the homeware is like the worst one because it's like it doesn't affect anything. And like, for example, they're talking about adding like battle skins. Why don't you add a skin for the main lobby? Like why don't like they should add that? Like that's better. Like if like instead of being in this room, if they like do something like maybe if I'm in like a throne room, potentially like a throne room, or I don't know, something different, man, because that would change the way you see. That would at least change something more of value than just a battlefield that only you see. Your opponent can't even see that because it's only on your end. But my main lobby screen, anytime you come into the game, it just changes the experience and the vibe instantly off rip. Like that'd be more worth it in my opinion. And watch out on the pricing of these packs as well, because like this Neon Mirage thing is not worth 50 bucks. Like that's the price of, like, you could buy like a game or 2 games or 3 games that are discounted on PlayStation or Xbox for that price. And I don't think that map is worth that much. Anything else? I think there's one more thing. Oh yeah, and another thing that I preach about this in like so many videos. Yeah, I'll do some polls as well. Another thing that I preach about in so many videos, whenever you guys see me doing a summon video, right? One thing you always see me say is they need to improve the summon animations, right? Like, improve the summon animations, because like it gets to a point where like once you have every character, like every SR character, majority of the SR characters, like it just gets boring. So I think they need to improve or add more variations in the summoning, like fake out animations. And that's something that many gachas have, is fake out animations. Like for example, if I do a pull here, okay, I got SSR here, but like if I do a pull there and I see go purple, there is no incentive for me to watch the full animation. That's an insta skip, right? There's literally no reason for me to even stick around, right? There's no reason for me to stick around once it's purple, right? Because it's guaranteed, because I know what I'm getting, right? But if they do something to where like, okay, it's purple, and then like maybe here something happens and then it changes to gold, then I'm like, all right, damn, that was cool. I just got a rare animation. It's a fake out animation. Like be creative and switch up the summons, because right now in this game the summons are like kind of, you know, so it's kind of boring almost, and you know there's no reason for you to stick around and watch these, you know. But yeah, that's just the last thing. So those are the 6, I guess you could say six things that I'd like to see changed in this game for it to improve. And like this is not me trashing the game. Like some people want me for whatever reason to trash this game. I'm not trashing the game. I'm just giving it that constructive criticism. That constructive criticism for them to improve. I've given them the grace period. Now it's time to get to work. Now it's time for action. Now it's time for speed. Now it's time for implementation for them to improve the game, because in this like space, time is a lot, man. And with new gachas coming out, people are already looking at other games. People are already looking at other games to play, you know, and people are quitting. Guilds are losing players. Guilds are having, you know, all players in the guild inactive. Like, it's bad. So we need speed. We need these big important things addressed ASAP, as soon as possible, because players won't stick around 5, 6, 7, 8 months for you to fix an issue that people have been talking about within the first like 3 weeks of the game's launch, you know. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and comment down below other changes you want to see in the game, because I'm sure I know for a fact that devs are gonna see this video because they check all my videos. So they're gonna watch this video. Comment down below on any other changes that I didn't mention in this video, and let me know what you thought of the changes that I'd like to see, if you agree or disagree, or you don't think that they're big enough issues. Let me know in the comment section down below. But with that being said, make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss a video. And with that, take care and peace, guys.